Christianity has a long and complex history in the Middle East, with roots that go back to the time of Jesus and the early Christian church. Today, there are a number of different sects of Christianity present in the region, each with its own distinct traditions and practices. One of the largest and most well-known sects of Christianity in the Middle East is Eastern Orthodoxy, which is practiced by a significant number of people in countries such as Lebanon, Syria, and Egypt. Eastern Orthodoxy is characterized by its liturgical traditions, iconic art, and emphasis on the sacraments. It is one of the oldest Christian traditions, tracing its origins back to the early Christian church in Constantinople, present-day Istanbul. The Eastern Orthodox Church is organized around a system of patriarchates, with the Patriarch of Constantinople being the highest-ranking bishop. Eastern Orthodox Christianity has a rich cultural and spiritual heritage, with a strong emphasis on monasticism and devotion to Mary, the mother of Jesus. Another significant sect of Christianity in the Middle East is Catholicism, which is practiced by a minority of people in countries such as Lebanon, Palestine, and Israel. Catholicism is characterized by its hierarchy, emphasis on the papacy, and use of the Latin liturgy. It is the largest Christian tradition, with the Pope, who is the Bishop of Rome, being the highest-ranking bishop. Catholicism has a global presence, with millions of believers around the world. It has a long history of social justice activism, and has played a significant role in shaping the political and cultural landscape of the modern world. There are also smaller sects of Christianity present in the Middle East, such as the Maronite Church, which is an Eastern Catholic church that is primarily found in Lebanon. The Maronite Church is in full communion with the Catholic Church, but maintains its own distinct liturgical and spiritual traditions. It has a strong presence in Lebanon, and has played a significant role in the country's history and politics. Another smaller sect is the Assyrian Church of the East, which is an independent Eastern church that is primarily found in Iraq and Iran. The Assyrian Church of the East is not in communion with either the Eastern Orthodox or Catholic Church, and maintains its own distinctive liturgical and spiritual traditions. It has a long history dating back to ancient Mesopotamia, and has a significant presence in Iraq and Iran. In terms of the overall population of Christians in the Middle East, it is difficult to say with certainty whether the population is increasing or declining. Some estimates suggest that the number of Christians in the region has been declining in recent decades, due in part to emigration and persecution. The Christian population in the Middle East has also been impacted by ongoing conflicts and political instability, which have caused many people, including Christians, to flee the region in search of safety and security. Despite these challenges, there are also signs of resilience and growth among the Christian community in the Middle East. Many Christian communities have remained rooted in their ancestral lands, despite the difficulties they have faced, and have sought to adapt and thrive in the face of these challenges. In some cases, Christian communities have even experienced growth as a result of evangelization efforts and conversions. It is worth noting that there has been a significant emigration of Christians from the Middle East to other parts of the world, particularly to North and South America, Europe, and Australia. For example, it is estimated that there are significant numbers of Christians of Middle Eastern origin in countries such as Brazil, the United States, and Canada. These emigrants have often sought to maintain their cultural and religious traditions, even as they have adapted to life in their new homes. As for the future of Christianity in the Middle East, it is difficult to predict with certainty. Some experts believe that the number of Christians in the region may continue to decline due to ongoing conflicts and persecution, while others are more optimistic and believe that the community will be able to adapt and thrive in the face of these challenges. In recent years, there has been a significant rise in the number of Christian refugees seeking asylum in other countries, particularly in Europe, due to the ongoing conflicts and instability in the Middle East. This trend is likely to continue in the coming years, unless a more stable and peaceful resolution to these conflicts can be found. There are also a number of initiatives and organizations that are working to support and strengthen the Christian community in the Middle East. These efforts include providing humanitarian aid, promoting interreligious dialogue and understanding, and advocating for the rights of minority communities. Some organizations are also working to support the preservation of the cultural and historical heritage of the region's Christian communities, including the restoration of churches and other religious buildings. Despite the many challenges faced by Christians in the Middle East, there is also a sense of hope and determination among many believers. Many are committed to maintaining their presence in the region, and are working to build a future that is grounded in the values of their faith. While the future of Christianity in the Middle East is uncertain, it is clear that the community will continue to play a vital role in the region's cultural and spiritual landscape. There are a number of factors that have contributed to the challenges faced by Christians in the Middle East. One of the most significant is the ongoing conflicts and political instability in the region. The Middle East has a long history of conflict, and in recent decades, this has led to the displacement of millions of people, including many Christians. This has had a particularly devastating impact on Christian communities in countries such as Iraq and Syria, which have been ravaged by war and violence. Many Christians have been forced to flee their homes, and have sought refuge in other countries. Another factor contributing to the challenges faced by Christians in the Middle East is persecution. In some countries, Christians are subjected to discrimination and persecution, and may face obstacles in terms of their ability to practice their faith freely. In some cases, Christians have even been targeted for violence and persecution by extremist groups. This is particularly true in countries such as Iraq, Syria, and Egypt, where there have been a number of high-profile attacks on Christian communities in recent years. Despite these challenges, many Christians in the Middle East remain committed to their faith and their community. Many are working to adapt and thrive in the face of these challenges, and are finding ways to preserve their cultural and spiritual traditions. In some cases, Christians are even experiencing growth as a result of evangelization efforts and conversions. One of the main ways that Christians in the Middle East are seeking to adapt and thrive is by building strong, supportive communities. Many churches and other religious organizations are working to provide social and spiritual support to their members, and are playing a vital role in helping people to cope with the challenges they face. This can include providing education, healthcare, and other social services, as well as spiritual guidance and support. Another way that Christians in the Middle East are seeking to adapt and thrive is by building bridges of understanding and cooperation with people of other faiths. Many Christian leaders in the region are working to promote interreligious dialogue and understanding, and are seeking to build relationships of mutual respect and cooperation with people of other faiths. This includes initiatives such as joint educational programs, interfaith conferences and events, and other efforts to build bridges of understanding. Despite the many challenges faced by Christians in the Middle East, there is also a sense of hope and determination among many believers. Many are committed to maintaining their presence in the region, and are working to build a future that is grounded in the values of their faith. While the future of Christianity in the Middle East is uncertain, it is clear that the community will continue to play a vital role in the region's cultural and spiritual landscape.